Welcome to the Catskills History from the Hills and Hollows. Today we're diving into a rebellious chapter of Catskill history, the Anti-Rent War, a tenant uprising that shook Delaware County in the 1840s. In the hamlets of Roxbury, Andes, and the county seat of Delhi, farmers fought against feudal landlords in a struggle for land and liberty. This is a story of calico disguises, deadly confrontations, and a fight that changed New York forever. By the 1830s, the Catskills were no longer a wilderness. Settlers had carved out farms in the valleys of Delaware County, but many didn't own their land. Instead, they were tenants under a feudal system, leasing land from wealthy patroons like the Livingston family. These leases demanded annual rents, often in wheat or livestock, and gave landlords control over the land forever. For farmers in Roxbury and Andes, this felt like a betrayal of the American Revolution's promise of freedom. Tensions boiled over in 1839 when a patroon died, and his heirs demanded harsher terms. Tenants, calling themselves anti-renters, organized in secret. They saw their cause as a continuation of the Revolution, refusing to pay rent and forming associations across Delaware County. In Roxbury, farmers gathered in barns to plan resistance. In Andes, the movement took a dramatic turn. The anti-renters adopted a bold tactic, disguising themselves as calico Indians. Wearing calico dresses, leather masks, and red paint, they mimicked Native American imagery to hide their identities. These disguises let them disrupt rent collections and intimidate sheriffs. In Roxbury, anti-renters led by figures like Warren Scudder would appear at farm sales to scare off bidders. It was theater, but deadly serious. The conflict escalated in August 1845 at Moses Earle's farm in Andes. Under-Sheriff Osmond Steele arrived to seize cattle for unpaid rent. Warned of danger at Hunting Tavern in Andes, Steele boasted, "Lead can't penetrate steel." But as he faced a crowd of 200 Calico Indians, shots rang out. Steele fell, mortally wounded. The murder shocked the region, and no one was ever convicted. The killing of Steele turned Delhi, the county seat, into a battleground. Governor Silas Wright declared a state of insurrection, sending militia to Delaware County. Delhi's second courthouse, now the Village Hall, became the epicenter of legal chaos. Anti-renters were arrested and held in makeshift jails, tents and log structures on Courthouse Square. Trials dragged on for over a year, with Delhi under virtual siege. The trials were extremely divisive. Some anti-renters actually faced death sentences, which were later commuted, while others ended up imprisoned. The movement's leaders, like Dr. Smith Boughton from Andes, became folk heroes in their communities. A mural in Delhi's post office, painted back in 1940 by Mary Early, really captures the Andes confrontation, symbolizing the lasting impact of the rebellion. The anti-rent war wasn't just a local skirmish, it actually reshaped New York's laws. By the late 1840s, the state constitution was amended to ban feudal leases, and courts started favoring tenants' rights. The patroon system basically crumbled, and farmers in Roxbury, Andes, and beyond could finally own their land. The rebellion's legacy lives on in Delaware County's fiercely independent spirit. Today, you can explore this history at places like the Hunting Tavern Museum in Andes, where Steele's fateful stop is remembered, or the Delaware County Historical Association in Delhi, which is home to artifacts from the anti-rent era. The Catskills Hills and Hollows still whisper tales of defiance, reminding us that the fight for justice can really change the course of history. That's it for this episode of the Catskills History from the Hills and Hollows. Join us next time as we uncover more stories from these storied mountains. Subscribe and share to keep Catskill history alive.